How's it going, everybody? My name is LuckyBunz, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down Bellsprout Community Day. With that being said, let's jump straight into it. So first of all, this comm day is going to take place on April 20th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. Bellsprout is also going to be number 69 in the Pokedex, and the featured moveset is Magical Leaf. Probably not a coincidence there. Now, as far as the bonuses go, like usual, we're going to get the boosted shiny rate of 1 out of 25. We're also going to be getting 3-hour lure modules and incense. The special bonus is going to be 3 times catch Stardust. We're also going to be getting 2 times catch candy, as well as a 2 times chance to receive extra large candy from catching if you're level 31 or higher. We're also going to be getting an additional special trade, so for a total of 2 special trades, and every trade is going to cost 50% less Stardust, which is really nice. And then finally, we're going to be getting 5 free Bellsprout from Snapshots. Now, from 5 to 10 p.m., we're also going to be getting in-person raid battles with Weeping Bell, the second stage form for Bellsprout. Now, after you beat the raid, Bellsprout are going to spawn in the surrounding area for the next 30 minutes. And if you guys have Spatial Ren, this is probably going to be a good time to use it to get more spawns if you weren't able to play during the original 2 to 5 p.m. play window. I should also mention that the shiny rate is going to be boosted on these Bellsprout as well, so you're going to get the typical shiny rate for comm day at 1 out of 25. Next up, let's talk about the double XL showcases. So I would recommend saving all of your double XL Bellsprout for the showcases during this event. You can just type in double XL in the search bar and they should all come up. Due to popularity, these showcases have become pretty competitive, but you can get premium items if you actually end up getting first or second place, especially if you get it in multiple showcases. Now, you guys can also get more encounters with Bellsprout just by doing the event-themed field research quests throughout the day. This is actually a great way to get a hundo or potentially even a shundo, as the floor IVs are going to be 10, 10, 10. Next up, let's go over some of the paid bonuses and if they're actually worth it. We'll start off with the special research ticket first for $1. So normally you do get enough premium items back to actually make the $1 worth it. So in my opinion, you do get your value there, but at the same time, like, you're not really missing anything if you don't get it. So that's kind of where I stand on those tickets. We do have special event boxes as well. We're going to have one for 480 Pokecoins. You're going to get 1 incense, 1 lure module, and 3 super incubators. For the second box, it's going to cost 1350 Pokecoins, and you're going to get 5 super incubators, 5 lucky eggs, and an elite charge TM. The biggest selling point here is definitely going to be that elite charge TM, but you can get these for free from GBL, so you don't really need to buy this box unless you just really hate GBL that much that you would rather spend $13.50 to get an elite charge TM and some super incubators, but I'll leave that up to you. If you are thinking about getting the $13.50 box just for the Elite Charge TM, though, I would actually recommend going through the web store instead, because there's actually going to be an Ultra Community Day box that will give you an Elite Charge TM plus a special research ticket, all for just $5. So if you really want to pay for the Elite TM, that's going to be the best way to do it, but at the same time, guys, you can just get them for free from GBL. Now, we touched on this earlier, but the exclusive moveset is going to be Magical Leaf, so you guys are going to have from 2 to 10 p.m. to evolve your Victreebel to get this moveset. Now, how good is Magical Leaf? So it's going to be slightly better than Razor Leaf according to the Sims on PV Poke, and the same can be said for raid/gyms as well. It's an improvement to Razor Leaf, but not by that much. So when it comes down to PvP, Razor Leaf is still going to be preferred if you want to focus on heavy damage, but if you want to focus on better energy generation, Magical Leaf is going to be the preferred moveset to go with. Now let's talk about how good Victreebel is in the raid/gym meta as well as PvP as a whole. So first up, let's start with raids. This one's going to be pretty quick. It's kind of one of those situations where if you're just coming back to the game or you just don't have that many grass-type Pokemon, you can acquire some budget attackers by catching and evolving high-level Bellsprout. And if you actually have the weather boost, you can catch and evolve up to level 35 Bellsprout in the wild, which is pretty nice. Now, otherwise, for most of you guys out there, Victreebel and even Shadow Victreebel are not going to be worth powering up for the raid/gym meta. If you guys want to check out the best Pokemon to power up, then check out this video right here. Moving on, let's talk about Victreebel in the PvP meta. So I'm not going to talk about regular Victreebel that much, but instead I'm going to talk about Shadow Victreebel. The main reason I want to focus on Shadow Victreebel is because it's been one of my go-to Pokemon in Great League for like the past 3 to 4 years. Shadow Victreebel completely destroys water and ground-type Pokemon like Swampert, Quagsire, and Wishcash. It's also great against so many others. So the recommended moveset before was Razor Leaf plus Leaf Blade and Acid Spray. That being said though, I would typically run Leaf Tornado instead of Leaf Blade because it had a 50% chance to debuff the opposing Pokemon's attack by 2 stages. Paired with Acid Spray, this will also debuff the opposing Pokemon's defense by 2 stages guaranteed. Now, unfortunately, most of the time you're only going to be able to get off 1 charge move with Shadow Victreebel because it's just that glassy, but I do think you guys have a good range of options with the move pool. From my experience, throwing Acid Spray is a really safe option, but it's also really predictable. By doing this, you're going to either force your opponent to let their current Pokemon go down or swap into something else to get rid of that debuff. The same could basically be said for Leaf Tornado. If it actually gets that debuff and it lowers the opposing Pokemon's attack by 2 stages, that can completely flip a matchup. So overall, when it comes down to Shadow Victreebel, my favorite team to use is going to be paired with Bastiodon and Medicham. Now, unfortunately, this team is going to be difficult to build because Bastiodon and Medicham are both going to be level 50 extra large Pokemon, but they are so good. I've never done super well in Great League just as a whole, but this team has always been my favorite to use, especially if I'm just trying to get through my matches is really quick. So basically, if I'm farming resources, I pretty much just wait until I get a water type lead, then you have an immediate advantage. And then if you don't get a water type lead, just top left every time and then just kind of repeat until you get a favorable lead. You basically just go through that as many times, racking up a ton of wins, and you're getting Stardust and rewards at the same time. It's just a really nice team to have if you want to go through and get a bunch of resources from GBL. Pretty sure this is not going to be the optimal team you want to go with if you want to push for Legend, but if you just want to go for resources like I do, then this is definitely going to be a great team to build, and Shadow Victreebel is going to be a solid Pokemon to build for PvP. Now, of course, Shadow Victreebel in the Great League is going to be amazing, just as my own testament there, but what about Shadow Victreebel in the Ultra League? So supposedly Shadow Victreebel is actually decent in the Ultra League now with Magical Leaf, and if you guys were to actually power up one for the Ultra League, you could also use that as a functional grass type attacker for the raid/Jib meta. It's going to be a lot better than your regular Victreebel, and you actually have more of a reason to power this one up because you're going to get dual functionality out of it. Now, one really cool thing that we're going to be able to do during this event is that we're going to be able to evolve our Shadow Bellsprout to Shadow Victreebel regardless if it has Frustration, because Magical Leaf is going to be a fast move, so it doesn't really matter if your Bellsprout has Frustration on it. So that actually means that if you want to hunt Bellsprout before this calm day even starts, possibly even during the calm day, you can totally do that, evolve it, and then get Magical Leaf. That's a pretty good scenario in my opinion. Most of the times we don't have accessibility like we do with this Pokemon. Now, for those of you guys who don't know how to get Shadow Bellsprout, you guys can get them from the Decoy Grunts for Giovanni. So basically, in order to find Decoy Grunts, you need to first equip your Super Rocket Radar to go battle Giovanni, then go hunt for Giovanni at Pokestops, and by doing this, you're going to run into many decoys pretending to be Giovanni, and they're just going to be regular grunts, and they're going to award you Shadow Bellsprout. Now, sometimes you will actually end up encountering Giovanni, and obviously you don't want to battle him right now, so if that does happen, just avoid the battle and move on. I would also not do any balloons, as these are going to be Giovanni guaranteed, and they're not going to be decoy grunts. Like, don't ever assume those balloons are going to be decoy grunts. It's only from Pokestops. I know some people don't know this as well, but if you actually want to unequip your Super Rocket Radar, just go to your bag and then just click on the Super Rocket Radar to unequip it. That way you can just start getting, you know, regular Team Go Rocket grunts from the balloons again, and it's really just if you want to farm those decoy grunts, you want to have that one equipped, or if you're going for Giovanni, obviously. Now, one last thing I want to mention is that you can actually get these Bellsprout in their shiny form, so you could potentially get a Shadow Shiny before this calm day if you're really lucky. Maybe some of you guys already have one, and then you can evolve it to get Magical Leaf, and that thing is going to look so cool in PvP. And I believe you should be able to hunt down these decoy grunts during calm day hours, but I'm not 100% sure if the shiny rate is going to be boosted on those decoy grunts for the Bellsprout. I don't believe so, but if it was, that would be super cool. So if anybody ends up getting a shiny Shadow Bellsprout on calm day, please let me know in the comment section down below. So in conclusion, I definitely think this calm day is underrated in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's not going to be super amazing, but it's definitely not that bad either. Like, we're going to be getting 3 times catch Stardust, which is fantastic just by itself. On top of that, Shadow Victreebel is a staple for PvP in Pokemon Go, and Shadow Bellsprout is very easily accessible right now leading up to the event, and it's one of the few times where actually having Frustration won't even matter when evolving a Pokemon. And then finally, for any new or returning players, you guys can add some budget grass type attackers to your lineup. You know, it's definitely a good placeholder until you actually get some better Pokemon in there. The moveset that you want to have is going to be ideally Magical Leaf plus Leaf Blade. And yeah, with that being said, that pretty much covers everything I need to go over regarding Bellsprout, and as usual guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But now let's go through some additional tips and tricks to help you guys out with this calm day. So first up, let's go over the fast catch trick. Most of you probably already know how to use this, but for any new or returning players watching this, I highly recommend learning it to increase your catching speed. It helps a ton. Now, unfortunately, you can't use the AR method anymore with the fast catch trick, but it's still incredibly OP. Highly recommend learning that. The next tip is going to be to create a search tag for all the Bellsprout that you want to evolve. You guys can quickly check for good IVs by typing in 3-star and 4-star. 4-star is specifically going to pull up your hundos. Now for PvP IVs, I would use the search string on screen. This one has been so clutch for just finding really good IVs without having to go through your entire sack of Pokemon. Now for the Mega Evolution that you want to have active, Bellsprout is going to be a Grass and Poison type Pokemon, so Venusaur, Beedrill, Gengar, Sceptile, Abomasnow, and Groudon are all going to be okay. I know what you're thinking, Groudon is not going to be a Grass type Pokemon, but it actually does cover Grass type Pokemon, so whichever one of these you guys have a Mega Level 3, prioritize that one over the others for increased candy and extra large candy. Next up, let's go over storage space. So generally I recommend a minimum of 100 open spots and ideally 250 plus going into this calm day. If you guys are still having trouble getting down to at least 100 open spots, then check out my full storage management guide linked down below. Let's talk about bag space next. So a combination of red, green, and ultra balls, a minimum of 200 is recommended, and ideally 500 plus would be the way to go. Pineapple berries are also going to be recommended if you guys actually can't play that long during this comm day, I recommend anywhere from 25 to 50 just so you can get that candy extremely fast. Now, if you guys actually can't go out and spin Pokestops during the week, the next best way to actually stock up on Pokeballs would be to open your daily gifts. And if you guys don't have that many friends, then I recommend using this subreddit to find more friends. Seriously, it is a godsend. You're going to be able to get so much experience and a ton of items every single day. The next tip is going to be the 3-hour incense, or at least stacking the 3-hour incense after comm day. So because of the special bonus extending the incense duration to 3 hours during comm day, if you actually drop more than one incense, they're also going to be 3 hours long. So if you guys actually wanted to hunt the event-themed Pokemon after comm day, this is actually going to be a fantastic way to get some extra spawns. Speaking of spawns, I know some players actually struggle to find some really good areas to play in their local. So, Pokestop dense areas and or cluster spawns are the way to go. So places like parking lots, grocery stores, superstores like Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, etc. College campuses are also really good. Any of those locations are going to be fantastic to actually go and play Pokemon Go, or maybe just like cycle around every 30 minutes. Now we are going to have a 3x catch Stardust bonus during this event, and it's actually one of the best times to use a star piece in the game, but only if you're going to be around a lot of spawns. And ideally you want to be using the fast catch trick to catch as many Pokemon as possible during that 30 minutes when you have the star piece active. If you don't feel like you're going to be around a lot of spawns for the next 30 minutes, then kind of tread more cautiously on using your star pieces, because you don't really want to waste them. But honestly guys, even if you catch Pokemon like really efficiently for like the next 15 to 20 minutes, you're probably going to get your money's worth off that star piece. Now I do actually have a few extra tips in regards to kind of maximizing your star piece. So if you guys have any field research Pokemon stacked, you guys can catch these during the downtimes when you have no spawns around you. Maybe you're going from one cluster to another cluster. Now on top of that, if you're moving at a decent pace, your instance should be picking up new spawns about every 30 seconds. And then finally, if you guys have any special research or GBL Stardust rewards, it's going to be a great time to actually redeem them while the star piece is active. The last few comm days that I've covered, I've been getting this question asked, should I use Spatial Rend and or Roar of Time? Is it actually worth using during this comm day? So because we actually have a 3x catch Stardust comm day, if you have the resources, I do actually think that Spatial Rend would be amazing to use. More spawns basically means more Stardust, and you are spending 5,000 Stardust every 10 minutes to keep it active, which is kind of like taking one step backwards, but you're essentially going like 2 or 3 steps forward just by doing this. I feel like you're easily going to get that 5,000 Stardust back if you're really grinding through those spawns, and seriously, like the extra spawns that you're going to be getting, that actually makes a massive difference, and you might even just get that 5,000 Stardust back alone just from those extra spawns. Now to be honest, I don't really feel like Roar of Time is going to be worth it during this comm day, but maybe one of you guys can give me a better argument in the comment section down below, but personally I think Spatial Rend is going to be the move to go with. The next tip is going to be regarding the Pokemon Ranger medal. So this is going to be your research medal essentially. So the tasks that you get during comm day are fairly easy, but they're also really easy to forget about. So make sure that you go through and clear your research before starting the event first of all, and then check them about every 5 to 10 minutes if you're around a lot of Pokestops. Now you can also run away from some of these Pokemon encounters and stack them up in your research stack for up to 100 Pokemon, but again, we do have the 3x catch Stardust bonus, so you may as well just catch them during this event. And then finally, let's go over the Picnicker medal. So basically, I just recommend dropping lure modules at your most popular grind spot right when the event starts, and pretty much the way that this works is that you get 1 point every single time somebody else catches a Pokemon off your lure module. In the right location, you can make some amazing progress because your lure module is going to last 3 hours long, so definitely take advantage of this. It's probably one of the easier platinum medals to get if you actually do it right. Anyways, that pretty much wraps things up for this video, guys. If you still want to check out some more content, I'm going to recommend these 2 videos right here, but before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon in the next one.